Greetings and welcome back to Smartwatch Ticks. We're a YouTube channel on the web at smartwatchticks.com. TVC-Mall has brought us a new product, and this one is a doozy. It's a temperature band. Yep, that's really the rage these days, are the brand new temperature bands. They do all the other things we've seen, including temperature. And this one, well, we're going to check it out. Look at this. It's got the Apple Watch shape. It's got the similar type of bands, and this added little bump in here. Look at that. We got the ring, the diodes for doing your heart rate and whatnot, the charging ports, a simulated button, not really there, but a cutout for it, and one tiny little turn knob. So it's kind of a baby Apple want to grow up and become someday. And that, I'm sure, is the temperature probe. So let's take a look at what's in the box. And who we're getting it from. TVC-Mall is an entity that's on the web, and they are bringing us the Lemonda Air Pro temperature heart rate monitoring smartwatch. We're going to get a couple of different readings, your outdoor or ambient the skin temperature, where it's touching your body, and then your basic internal temperature, your actual, look at the price on the actual temperature that you supposedly are. $19 for this, amazing, and it does all kinds of things in addition to the temperature. A 1.5, roughly 1.54-inch TFT screen using Bluetooth 5. 7H toughened glass lens, 200 milliamp hour lithium polymer battery, 10 to 15 days use, standby for 30 days, all for something under $20. Fashion design, health tracker, temperature monitoring, sedentary reminders, all of that stuff. You have multi-dial wallpaper, alarm clock, stopwatch, and it's a multi-sport model. 240 by 240, bigger display, yep, with all the touch functions, 128 megabytes of RAM inside of it, and there's more stuff. IP67 waterproof, the battery capacity, there we are with all our times again, the languages that are supported, and the size and what comes in the box. So, inside here we have a charging connector, 2-pin style, that... Why do I always get it backwards? I bet you guys take bets on this, don't you? I would. I'd bet against myself. There! Got it! Oh! You didn't see that. Not quite strong enough to hold it. Just barely, but definitely strong enough to keep it charged. And of course, the last thing we always do is show you the itsy-bitsy teeny-weeny manual in English. Unbelievable, they make it this small. Is that the first page? It looks like it. Okay, we're going to show it to you as close as we can with this fine focusing camera here, so you can have a copy of the manual ahead of time. You notice it's going to tether to the GloryFit app. Yep. And we'll take a quick look at that too. Now that temperature's included on all of these, we have to kind of see how they've implemented in the apps, the updates to the ones that have been out there before, and of course the new ones, and a little more information. Hope that's enough for you to get a feel for the band from the manual. Well, let's take a look at it. Well, with that crown button here, we're going to press and hold, give it a couple of seconds. And it vibrates and wow, comes into a really interesting, nice first screen. Looks like we've got some sort of a chart thing simulated on here with the time in 24-hour mode and so forth. When we swipe down, we get into this really big display. Find your phone, it looks like. Here's a brightness control. That's full brightness. There's its lowest. Wow, we don't need to have it too bright. Information about the band is right here. And then settings. Now check this out, folks. I go into settings, and what have I got? I got the brightness. We just already looked at that, but now you have the same thing that you can do, but you can actually see it. You got the information. We just looked at that. You got the power off, then you got a go back button to reset the entire watch from the very beginning if you want to. And that's all in the settings from here. Go off to the left, you get into system, and whoa, Look, we're right back where we were. How do I get out of this? I feel like I'm in magic mirrors. You have a Find Your Phone? That was on that pull-down screen as well. Something new, folks. Okay, stopwatch. That's something new. Here you go. Hundredths of a second. You don't have any lap time, but you have a chance to pause it and redo it, I guess. Then you've got messages, and we'll see yet. There's another place you can see those. And now, here we go. We've got weather, and I think this is weather. It looks like temperature in degrees centigrade. That looks like a cloud, but I'm not sure what that is. Maybe your highs and your lows, but we're not tethered to a phone, so we don't have any of that. Then you got training, which is your basic sports activities, outdoor running. Come on back here. Cycling, skipping, okay. Table tennis, badminton. Wow, a bunch of stuff going fast through here. Oh, well, spinning bike, dancing, football, yoga, sit-ups, indoor running. Most of the time when you have all these exotic sports, all you're going to get is time, heart rate, and calories burned, because it's not going to compute step count or anything, and that's what we're seeing here in dancing, for example. And of course, you can stop it if you want to, bail out of it, and get back to training altogether. Then you've got blood oxygen. I think that is. Looks like a little drop of blood there. Thing is spinning. It's got a % sign at the bottom, and right on cue, 97. So it's doing the blood oxygen computation using green diode technology, not the higher level red. But hey, it's $19, folks. Goodness. Okay, blood pressure, simulated little chart going across, systolic and diastolic. Again, all of these measurements on your vitals, take with a grain of salt. Better yet, take them with some pepper too. When you get the band, check it against its calibration with your cuff, with your thermometer, with your blood oxygen meter. And this is taking way too long. Anyway, we should get, there we go, systolic, diastolic, you're up, you're down, and you got that number. And then heart rate is going to come in here too. And again, verify the numbers for yourself. Your body, skin temperature, color, your hair, all of that is different. So the readings are going to be different on these bands. So when everybody asks about calibration and accuracy, I say you got to figure it out on your own. If you like the features of the device, get it, play with it, and verify it against your calibrated equipment. Here's your step count information. And now finally, we've looped around to the temperature. And there we go. I've got a temperature of 36.1 centigrade for my body, and then the skin temperature, I presume, 34.1. It doesn't stay on long enough to meet my needs, but it's there. I don't think this is going up and down in accordance with that, and I don't see a way yet to change it to Fahrenheit, maybe in the app, but there's your temperature reading. And back to your watch face, which of course you can press and hold. He says press and hold, and change to one of a few others. Here's a big time display. There's the X. I don't know what's popular about that, but that's showing up a lot. Here's the Apple look of a watch face, and then a little more softer one for maybe for night or something. And then we're back to the beginning. Which one you want to try? That one there that Apple uses a lot. That would be the temperature, I guess, when it's tethered and pushed from your phone. That's your current heart rate, and it was changing, the date, and other stuff like your step count and whatnot. So a lot of information on that watch. None of these are hot spots, but it does have a second hand that's moving, which is cool. All right, let's take a look at the, oh wow, 3 diodes going. That's impressive. Let's look at the app and how it tethers. You can get the Glory Fit from the Google Play Store, or use the link in the show notes down below to take you right to that on your phone. You bring it in here. You got to do a registration. You can do third-party registration with Facebook and Twitter. I don't know, WeChat, a couple of other things, and then log in. It looks like you have to create an account. Let's try ignore. Please agree to the thing, and I'll agree to it. Ignore. And I'm background activity permission, next. I guess I'm in without having to create an account, which is great. All right, we're going to go female. I always do that just in case the device has period tracking. It won't show up if you select male. We'll just go with the defaults, but look at the nice way you can select all of this stuff right down to your age of year and month and so forth, and your step count target, and we are there as long as we allow everything. We're selecting a bracelet. We are searching for this one, which was the Air Pro. There we go. Air Pro, connecting, and it looks like it's adjusted the time, and we are correct now. So we have all these different things that we can do. Heart rate monitoring, we want it turned on, and look at that high alarm rate. You can set that whatever you'd like. I'm going to set it for like 140, so occasionally it should actually go off and vibrate for me. I like to test it out before I'm about to die at 150. We're going to update. Oh, it wants me to update a firmware. Ooh, okay. I'm going to allow access. There is an update available. Whether to update, I'm going to confirm, and I'll be back after it's all updated. Well, that was quick. Okay, we've been updated to the newest firmware, and we're ready to go. So we were walking through these things. We have heart rate monitoring turned on, body temperature setting. We want to auto test this puppy. Turn that on every 10 minutes. Look at that. I'm off the screen. Look at that. I can go as low as every minute or up to 6 hours. I'm going to do every minute just because I can. And I can set a time period, 24 hours a day or 8 to whenever. I still don't know my 2100. I can activate it here, or if I don't have that turned on, I guess it's 24 hours. Okay, you can set a body temperature warning. Oh. Can you tell I'm excited when I see unit? Unit Fahrenheit. Doggone, now I can work in units that I love. All right, body temperature warning 99.1. Look at this. You have increments. Now, if you're in centigrade, you just switch it over, okay? So if I wanted 100-degree Fahrenheit as my warning, taking my temperature every minute, 24 hours a day, wow, for 19 bucks. That's enough. Sold. I'll buy it. Your call reminders, your app reminders, any of these things you can turn on for notifications. Sedentary, smart alarm clocks. There's your raise your hand to see the display. You want that turned on, probably not at night. And then nice, you have a do not disturb mode that you can set, and you can turn off the vibration, and you can turn off message reminding during that do not disturb period. So the app is great, and the interface with the watch is great for those little subtle things you don't realize till you're in bed and you get woken up because you don't want to. Universal, shake to take a picture, find your bracelet, your SMS reminders, turn them on or off. You can have a screen time as low as 5 seconds, as high as 15. So for the video, we'll make it 15. We've got 24-hour time, or there you go, 12-hour time system available, and that should have switched us to 3 p.m. Just out of curiosity, 24-hour time switches instantly. Look at that. Nice. Okay. And device language, follow your system, or you can pick any of these languages and override your watch or your phone system if you want to, directly from the app. Very well thought out. Firmware upgrade, clear the data, unbind, and that's it for the band. And then there's you can adjust your personal information, your training plan. That's your number of steps for, walking, running, whatever. Next. The training day of the week that you want. You can select a couple of days of week, and next. The training time. So I guess you'll be reminded about all of that. And There you go. You've got a training schedule established. So if you're a hard one to self-motivate, you can create a training plan and your overall step count and your weekly notification, login. Okay, you got to be logged in and create an account for that, all that stuff. Background activity permissions, system settings. Oh, there's your units, feedback, and so forth. We're kind of two different ways to get to the same thing and common problems you may run into. And of course, you can set your name and all of your stuff here, gender, height, weight, everything. Wow, all right. Back to home, and let's get some data for you. Oh, and just to show you before that, watch, when I swipe over, I'm in my temperature, and it's going to give it to me in Fahrenheit. And of course, when I put it on and it touches the sensor, it's going to start to go crazy because now it's going to actually get the real temperatures and not just what's in the outside air. Okay, good. Now some data. There, got some good data for you. Got some step count information, heart rate with the current heart rate, most recent one listed, and a chart on the main page here. The pretty colored sleep record with total time last night. Blood pressure, because this doesn't do continuous blood pressure, but only manual readings. I only have one entry I tried this morning. We have a body temperature record now, continuous going on through here with the most recent temperature here. And no blood oxygen, no ECG, none of the other stuff. This is a more limited device, but it does do these things, and it does them pretty well. When I go into my step count, you can see the number of steps on a bar chart, and down below you can see those little half-hour intervals, how many steps, and it registered it as a walk or a run, which is cool. Can't go into these because they're not really workouts, but they're telling you what you are doing every half hour, and kind of like that. You got weekly and monthly summaries as well. In the sleep record area, we get in here, you show the breakdown of deep, light, and awake time, and a little synopsis about sleep quality that I went to bed too late. But there's your overall chart, and when you touch it, okay, it shows you in the zone that I'm touching it, there's deep sleep, began at 4:01 a.m. and ended at 5:31 a.m. There's a light sleep, and this should be my awake time right there. So you're getting that data, but you don't have a way to access all of it just by touch. And of course, weekly and monthly summaries of all of this information are available as well. No REM sleep on this, no sleep apnea or any of those kind of monitoring, just your basic sleep analysis on this device. Blood pressure, like I mentioned, is here. And now we get into that thing about remote measurements. I hope you watched the other video I did of a couple of bands. When you combine them together, you get the ability to remotely measure just about everything. This one has some limited capabilities. As you saw, I could do blood pressure from the watch itself, but I can hit start here, and it's going to go through a quick testing. And it shows you the progress circle as it goes around here. I did one earlier this morning, and I got to tell you, this is way off. I'm a happy hypertensive kind of guy. I'm happy when I'm down below 130, and I probably between 125, 135 usually. I don't get down to 109, 110, and this should be about an 80 to 85, 90. So definitely low, and it's not using my personal data that I've calibrated this with the cuff. So if I were to get this and try to make sense out of the blood pressure, I'd have to add at least 20 points to each of these to bring it up to where I probably am. But again, I would wear a cuff, take a reading from here, see what the difference is, and use that offset delta, as long as it's consistent, to bring this up to what my true blood pressure would be if I were doing it with a cuff. If it bounces all over the place, and just throw it out, it's not worth even wasting your time on. Blood pressure is the hardest one to nail down. It really seems that way. Now we get to body temperature. Here's the latest reading. It is in Fahrenheit, gang, and there is the chart. Oh, while I'm here, if I touch one of these, you see that I can get the actual information at the time. and they're spread apart by the exact time of those measurements. Down here, I touch, and you see it's got a double axis thing. It's showing you the time every 10 minutes and the actual heart rate, temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. And again, this is body temperature. They're saying I should most likely be 98.6. 97.3. This is comparable to what they get at the airport when they point the gun at your forehead. I'm in the 97 range there, 97 to 97 and a half. So I don't know. We're all kind of shifting into what we're taking as regular temperature based on whether it's an external derived thing through skin contact with a thermometer module or infrared reading taken, by bouncing infrared light off or looking at the infrared emitted by your body. Either way, this is what we're getting here, and I can see it on the chart. If I touch up here, I can go back into the chart and I can do the same kind of thing here. I can't spread it out. And you notice it goes, there it is, from midnight to 5, 7, 10. So the chart gets scrunched down the longer it goes, it appears, over the whole day. And there are fluctuations that are showing up. Got up to 98.7 there and down to 96.8 there, but nothing radical, as you wouldn't expect if you're not sick. And there's the recent body temperature and a discussion about that. And yes, indeed, I can tap it, take a remote reading, and it flashes immediately to the 97.3, which is the interpolated internal temperature, where 92.9 is, we presume, the surface temperature of my skin. And so it's going with what it's calling the body temperature for this. So you can do remote reading of blood pressure and of body temperature. And heart rate recording, I don't have a remote trigger for that, but I do have the categories. I've tranquilized most of the state, can't you tell? And then I've got minimum and maximum, but I don't have a trigger to take a heart rate real time and have it display on the phone. So some limitations, some benefits. It's just a matter of what would be important for you. Now check this out. When we go over to the sports tab, we get into this page where you have the current temperature, and you can tap into that and get the location set up, centigrade, Fahrenheit display, whatever you want. You've got the heart rate information shown on a tab there. You've got the test that you want, a target of distance, duration, or heart heat, which is your calories burned, that you can set for a particular activity, a running activity. And then you've got the settings here where you can do these things. And now I got to get into my broadcaster's voice, because I want you to hear what happens when you voice broadcast the results of your activity. I'm ready to audition. Here we go.
Worked out for 5.60 kilometers. Workout out for a total of 23 minutes, 49 seconds. Heart rate 78.
Oh, I am so excited about this watch. When you hit go, you're gonna get your track, and you do it all in the phone, not in the band, but the band can transmit your heart rate stuff, and you can get your results spoken to you. Are you excited? Yeah, me too. I do want to show you, though, back on the band itself, that couple of different watch faces. This one in particular, you see you've got the heart rate here, the date, and the body temperature, along with the day of the week and the actual numerical battery percentage. This is a good one. It gives you a lot of data. Press and hold. And the other one that we had on here earlier, that one, there we're now getting the time of day, because it's already been tethered over, not time of day, but temperature outdoors. There's my existing heart rate, I believe. And then you got the other information here, but I'm not getting temperature on that particular one. And the rest of the watch faces don't carry with them all of that detail. They're more for show till you get to this one. And here you've got the time, and you've got the surface temperature and the body temperature, the same readings that you're getting here. So your choice of watch face, but I did want to point out that some of the data does translate through and is updated regularly in the watch face. So depending on what you want, you might pick the watch face that gives you that if that's important to you. So once again, the best place to pick this puppy up is TVC-Mall. It's the Lemonda Air Pro. It's their brand, and it's really a decent price. Check the show notes for our buying link. And maybe we even might have a coupon discount on this one. Not sure because it's so low priced, but definitely well under 20 bucks. You can get yourself a great temperature monitoring smartwatch to wear on your arm and be able to remotely monitor from your phone your temperature. All right, we'll see you again soon.